Hi there, this is John Bishop. Thanks everybody for coming today to this Coffee and Testimonies Saturday. I'd like to say for just briefly that Nancy, Dr. Flournoy here, has been doing wonderful presentations about the patches on Fridays at 6 p.m. And I've just really learned a lot. It's been quite a long journey for both of us. We've been in the company for several years. And so these testimonies are really, Nancy's had some amazing ones, and maybe she'll share hers after I share mine. And certainly Eddie and just recently Mr. Rosenberg here. So we have 4 people here today. So we're going to start, and I'd just like to share my screen so I can just read through this so I don't miss any details. Okay, let me know when you can see that. Can everybody see that? Somebody give me a.
I got it.
Okay, good. Okay, so here we go. I just put it in an email here to myself. So my journey with LifeWave would never have occurred had I not made the decision to go against everything I was doing in regards to the chronic back pain and joint pain that I was experiencing on almost a daily level. In September of 2019, I was experiencing so much pain in my back that I had just about given up. I knew it was just getting worse and worse. And although I had tried just about everything, acupuncture, chiropractic, deep tissue massage, and consulting with doctors, nothing was improving my condition. One night, I did a strange thing. I told myself that there must be something somewhere that could help my back so I wouldn't end up in surgery or worse. So I just said that night that tomorrow would be the day that I would expect that some kind of answer would come and that I would be ready to respond to it. Crazy thought, as that might sound, something did happen. At 10 a.m. the next morning, I got a call from a friend who I had not talked to in a long time. In fact, I remember I really wasn't in the mood to hear what he was saying to me. He wasn't being very clear about telling me exactly why he called, but invited me to drive down to his house in Bothell, Washington, from Bellingham, where I was at the time. He said he had something amazing that he just had to show me. So I said, look, if you don't tell me what it is, I am not coming down because 1, I had a lot of things to do that day, and 2, I was in a lot of pain. And I said I was in no condition to drive 2 hours down and back for something he wouldn't. Lost my point. He wouldn't even tell me about. But he persisted, saying, John, if I start to tell you over the phone what it is, you will not believe me and you won't come down. So I said to him, okay, so what kind of MLM business are you trying to get me into this time? You know I'm not interested, right? But then I remembered what I had told myself the night before, that the next day I was going to get some kind of answer to my back pain. So as much as this sounded too crazy, sorry, that should be crazy to thing to follow, I said, okay, I will talk to my wife and see if she will drive me down and call you back. In that moment, I noticed that my wife was in a particularly good mood. So I said, hey, honey, you know that friend I haven't talked to in a long time? Well, he just called and invited us to come down and visit him, and that he was, and that he had something exciting to show me. What is it? She said. The dude won't say. Much to my surprise, my wife said, okay, it's a nice day and I would like to go to Seattle to get some Japanese food at the Awajimaya market. Now I did it. I guess there was no turning back. So, despite the level of pain I was having, I said, okay, let's go. And I called my friend back and said we'd be down in 2 hours. When we arrived at his house, my friend invited me into his dining room where he made us some tea and brought some snacks. So I was waiting for the big pitch. He is going to try to sell me either some kind of supplement or skincare for me and my wife. But what followed, I have to say, threw me off. He said, have you ever heard of phototherapy? Of course, I said no. Well, I have something that I want to put on you that is going to help you with your back pain. And then he shows me a round Band-Aid looking thing about the size of a quarter. I thought, the guy has finally lost his mind. Are you kidding? I told him, you expect me to think that this is going to take away the pain I've been experiencing for years? So he said, On a scale of 10, 1 to 10, tell me what your level of pain is. So I said between a 9 and a 10. I was actually starting to get a little irritated at that point. So he told my wife to go into the bathroom, their bathroom, and find the point of most pain and put this silly looking thing right there. Well, that would be my third thoracic vertebrae that was diagnosed as degenerative when I was 12 years old. It was the point in my back where I'd always experienced pain, discomfort, and a lack of flexibility. After my wife put the patch on and we returned, my friend started to explain to me about this guy by the name of David Schmidt, who was a great inventor and a company he created called LifeWave. As I listened to him go on and on and on about it, he would suddenly stop and say, "What is your level of pain now?" After 30 minutes, I said I didn't feel any difference. So you know what he said? "I have another patch." Well, actually 2 patches that I want to put on your left and right side of the one I had on. At this point, I started to feel like this whole thing was pretty strange. And after feeling no change at all, I was about to leave. But again, that thing that I had told myself the night before, I was going to trust that some answer to my back problem would appear. So I agreed to do that, and my wife applied the ice wave patches to that area of my back. Another 30 minutes, 1 hour went by, and when asked if I told my friend I felt absolutely no change in the level of pain, and in fact, it was getting worse. I felt a little sorry for him, and I couldn't give him even an indication that it was working. But at this point, I had to let him know we had to get back to Bellingham because I had a class. So I thanked him for trying, and I said it was kind of an interesting thing he was telling me about. On the way back, I was just trying to keep my mind off the pain, and I actually just wanted to cancel my class and get a substitute. I was trying to call one of my teachers to take the class when it happened. Suddenly, the pain in my back just went away. I mean, it clicked off. I was so startled, I dropped my phone on the seat and let out a gasp. It startled my wife, and she said, "What?" I said, "My pain is gone," and I could move without any discomfort at all. I immediately called my friend back and told him the pain disappeared totally and asked him what I should do next. Over the next few weeks, I continued to use the X39 and IceWave patches, and the pain never returned. The rest is history. Since I have made a point to stop trying to always paddle upstream, you know, when we think that we're doing everything right and working so hard to solve a problem. All I really did that night was kind of go with the flow. And then the next day, amazing thing happened. So that's my testimony. Did that come in clear, everybody?
Beautiful, John.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's almost like it seems like it happened yesterday. And I was like, oh my gosh, all this time has gone by. So that is what I wanted to share. And anybody else like to share their testimony? I know, Nancy, you got great ones.
Well, I can follow sort of on that, because what time of the year was that? In the spring, maybe?
Actually, that was fall. I think we met later, much later after that, but not too much later. Maybe it was in the spring.
I don't know, because I saw you kind of at the end of summer.
Right.
So maybe
right.
it was fall. But I saw you and Mieko walking towards me in downtown Bellingham, and you looked so much younger. I mean, that I would have thought that would take some time, but it may be that the release of stress off your body was so dramatic that the effect was pretty fast, even on your overall complexion.
Yeah.
So I commented on that. Hang on, let me show it.
It's nice to be back in a moment. Here she is.
Leonard's therapist is working with him, so they're laughing. You just look so much younger. And Leonard had this severe hand pain that he'd been trying to get his doctor to find something to satisfy for 2 years. 2 years he'd been complaining about, not being able to move his hands, and they did the test for rheumatoid arthritis, et cetera, et cetera. Everything was negative. And they looked at the back of his neck, for nerve pain, everything was negative. And so he really didn't have any guidance on how to get rid of the pain in his hands. And John just said, "Oh, have I got something to show you?" And it would have been nice if he'd put the patches directly on Leonard, but no, he sent me home with some. And so I had to learn to do the little round the clock bit and put them on myself. And of course I was very nervous. So I got my stopwatch out and I put the tan patch right where the most pain was. And I took the white one and put it above it and started my stopwatch. And 10 seconds later, nothing had happened. And so I moved it 90 degrees. Another 10 seconds went by and nothing happened. I moved it another 90 degrees and pain was gone. Pain was gone. So Leonard used the patches daily for a while. And then before 2 weeks were over, he was skipping a day or skipping 2 days. And after just a few weeks, he was not using them at all. So it was dramatic, and he didn't have to wait for hours and hours like you did to get that effect. So, so it's really wonderful to see. I've patched many people pre-COVID, before then, sciatica, other kinds of pain, and seen dramatic effects. One dramatic effect is I have a cousin who had a stroke at the age of 30 and was pretty well paralyzed on one side of her body. And I put again, I had LifeWave with me when I saw her. I put the tan, and who thought, I mean, you talk about LifeWave for pain. And so, here she's in a condition where she has no feeling whatsoever in her foot. And I thought, what the heck, let's try it. And I put the tan patch on the dead part of her foot and the white patch up her leg somewhere. And all of a sudden she's twitching her foot. And it had been 30 years since she'd had no movement at all in that foot. So that was remarkable. And then I had a cat, a 20-year-old cat who had got a stroke and was paralyzed down the right side of the body, and couldn't open her mouth. And so I was feeding her with a syringe of beef broth and electrolyte fluids, and thinking, this is it. She's 20 years old. She's had a good life. It's time to let her go. And then I thought, well, okay, we'll try the patches and see what happens. And so I strung the energy patches down the right and left side of her spine. And after just, I don't think it was even a whole minute, after just a short period of time, she went like that. And she could then eat, and the motion came back to her body. It wasn't complete at first. She was a little gimpy on the one leg, but it got progressively better over a period of time. It was really, really, really amazing. And then I should say a bit about my own experience. I guess I've felt really good things with all of the patches, and I've tried them all. But the noticeable thing I'll attribute to X39 was after, 6 months or so, I just, I woke up one morning and everything felt right, such that you didn't know it was wrong. It's like, this is right, like I'm 16 years old. It's just, you get up in the morning and everything is good. It was just so astounding. And that continues, that I wake up in the morning and, everything is really nice. So, I mean, that's totally amazing. But I had a severe head injury when I was 10 years old, and had near-death experiences 25 years ago. So I've been healing for a long time, when I started using the patches. And one thing David Schmidt said in one of his lectures was, you can do this with meditation, but it's a lot easier with LifeWave. And it's really true, because I still had some bones that were in the wrong place in my head, and everything just became a lot more plasticity, I think is the word everyone's using for this. And so things started where I did spend a lot of time in the delta brainwave state. I did brainwave training to get myself in that state. And I spent huge amounts of my day in the delta state working with my body. With LifeWave, things continued to improve with much less effort. I mean, not that being delta is that much effort, but I mean, it takes a lot of time. And so it's been a real pleasure to learn this, this different way of healing. And this fall in particular, so I've been taking LifeWave for, I don't know, a year and a half or 2 years at that point. And I guess it was sometime in the previous summer, this big blob showed up on my face, and it's kind of getting blotched out a little bit now, but I have pictures, and I should put this together like you did your little talk, John. But if you looked at it carefully, it was like an inch or 3/4 of an inch down. It made a sharp right angle and went the other way. And it was just very clearly the edge of the diving board that I had hit when I did this flip and landed on my head. And the point is right where the jaw bones come together here. And of course, you know, I'd had terrible TMJ and lots of other effects. But what happened last fall, this is, as I say, 25 years after I've had near-death experiences from the degenerative consequences of that dive. This blob that came out is obviously a detox experience where, and I think it came right out of my bones. I mean, I know a lot of times toxins are stored in your fat, but at the same time, there's a place in the, if you know, I looked on the web to look at what there's all these little bones that come together, and they kind of moved each other around and reoriented themselves at the same time that this splot came out. And so it was this huge detox, and then lots of other, you know, changes in my face and my head occurred, and I was getting I've gotten for a long time, I've had craniosacral therapy, and during that time, then the therapist that I see here in Tim Hutton in Bellingham was able to see that my sphenoid bone, which had been knocked out of place from the dive, and I had that put kind of back into place. It's the bone here that your pituitary gland and everything hangs off of, that tells you what direction's up, and holds, you know, is right above your eyes. He found that it was sort of in place, but it was twisted and bent still. And so this is after 25 years of therapy working on it. All of a sudden, I believe because LifeWave had allowed the whole area to relax and be open, he was able to find that he was able to identify that problem and untwist and sort of fix it. So then I had a lot more stress release through all my head and my neck, and then as it all releases, it filters down, and you end up your hips and everything else gets shifted around too. So so great fun.
Yes. Wow, that's great. That's what an incredible testimony. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it continues. It's wonderful.
Well, Don or Eddie, would you like to share anything today? Your experience? There's no pressure.
No pressure whatsoever. I was just actually have a question more than a testimony.
Okay.
So last night, and as you are, or Nancy knows, and well, John knows too, that I'm in a wheelchair, still recovering from a major surgery. And I'm getting better, and I'm walking more and all that good stuff. But last night I got up to go to the restroom, and I was back in my wheelchair out of the bedroom, and I slammed my top of my hand against the door jamb so hard that I cried out in pain. So this morning, it's like The pain is located on the right-hand side between knuckle 1 and knuckle 2. And I put on LifeWave probably about, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes ago, and I'm still not having any pain relief. So I've kind of readjusted the patches. Any suggestions?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to place them on your fingers.
Well, the knuckles.
Knuckles. Yeah.
The
Do
top
you have
of the
the
hand.
X39 patch as well?
Oh yeah, I'm wearing one right now.
Okay. I would put that one, I'm going to show you right here on my wrist. So you're talking about the thumb in the first one, or you're talking about the knuckles here, the fingers?
The fingers, knuckles, yes.
Yeah, right there, right?
Right.
Okay, so I would take that X39 and put it right here on your wrist. That's an important acupuncture point. It really kind of helps with the movement of the whole hand and energy flow. So I would put right there. Can you see that, Don?
Yeah, I can.
So I would put it right there on that point and see what happens, in a little while.
And if that doesn't provide some relief, the Eon Patch is
Right.
associated with having a proper response to injury. So if you feel like it's inflammation, and also to deal with inflammation. So the Eon Patch is another one to try.
Right. I don't think you have the Eon Patch, right, Don?
No, I do have it.
Oh, you do have it. Okay. Well, try. I think that's what you should do first. Try the Eon Patch there first instead of the X39.
John, does he put the LifeWave brown and also white one both together?
Yes, right. Don, you got tan and white with the LifeWave, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And where did you actually put them?
Right where it hurts, on the top of my hand.
Well, you put the tan one where it hurts. Where'd you put the white one?
Next to it.
Have you moved them around?
Just did, after I heard your comment.
Okay.
Okay, so that you just did. So maybe.
So you got 360 degrees to go though. So you can try a couple more
No,
positions.
I'm not saying it's not working. I was just asking for advisement.
Yeah, no, but they call that round the clock method. And the idea is, and in fact, often they say just take, one of the tabs off the white one so you can move it more easily without losing the stickiness, but you've already got it open. So, you could try the white one. You've tried a couple of positions, but, back towards the wrist, and then, I don't know, maybe over between the thumb and the finger, and then on the front side of the palm, and and 10 seconds. And then the idea is that wherever it felt the best, that's where you leave it for a while.
Right.
So 10 seconds isn't very long, and you should feel you're encouraged to explore the position, and a change can make a big difference.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Don. Yeah, I'm glad. Don's also tried the Silent Nights patch. He said that it's helped with his sleep, which is really good sleep. That was Nancy's last patch webinar about the Silent Nights and how important sleep is. I've certainly felt such a difference in my sleep in the last couple of years from adding that patch. That's the one I put it here on the kind of my third eye position, or I put it in the back of my neck. And my wife also, she's kind of a little bit of an insomniac. She'd stay up late. Sometimes I always say, don't watch too much TV at night because then you won't go to sleep. And so she started using the Silent Nights, and I literally I had to wake her up in the next morning. She's like, I've just had a great sleep. Don't wake me up. So anyway, yeah. So thank you, and thanks, Eddie, for being here today. Eddie's been in LifeWave for 18 years, and I've really learned a lot from him as well. So it's quite a journey we're all on. I'd like to say that,
Can I mention something about my group?
Yes, absolutely.
I have, because I remember of LifeWave since it's, like a beginning. I have the number of people under me now, and many people had a lot of experience. So if I begin to tell each of them, I need a couple of hours because I have the quite large number of group. But I want to tell you, I begin to keep the number of, like a people, how many people I have. I started August 13, 2018. That time I have 16,774 people.
Wow.
So the beginning of, the January 1st of 2019, I have 18,165 people, right? So that is about how many years ago? 4 years ago, right?
Right.
Right now, as of yesterday, total number of people I have is 165,430 people.
Wow.
So from like, the August 13th of 2018, I have quite a large number of people, came in, so in the beginning, it's very slow. As you know, the network marketing, you have to start from one person, right?
Right.
And then you put one person on the right, one person on the left, and then you keep doing it. And then the people who is under you, if you can make them do the same, then your group begin to grow. Okay, so if you have the 2 people and they do the same things, so you will have a number 4 people under your second level, and 4 multiplied by 2, that is 8, right? So 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, so forth. And that is the way your group begin to grow. So it's very important for you to be successful. It's very important for you to teach them how to multiply, how to duplicate. And in order for them to duplicate, the method must be very simple. If you make it everything complicated, then it's very difficult to duplicate. So simple method is the best way to have your large group. But initially you start from 1, 2, 4, 8. But if you can keep doing that, after maybe, like myself, after a couple of years, from like 16,774, now I have over 165,000 people. I didn't bring that number of people. My downline bring, so they're downline, they're downline, they're downline. And that is the power of network marketing. And if you can do that, you don't need to worry about your like income, because the LifeWave has an excellent product. Nobody will have the product like we do, right?
Right.
So if it works, then people begin to use it and make sure that I have experience of doing many network marketing. Some network marketing recently, they increased their price, but they did not increase their volume, points. So it's become more difficult for them to reach certain conditions, right? Fulfill certain conditions for them to receive the higher income. But in LifeWave, when I started, the 2004 of November, the energy enhancer price, and today energy enhancer price, after almost like 17 years later, the price is the same.
Right.
Point is the same. And that is the power of LifeWave.
Right.
You can check with any other company. They may say they can make more money, but they are maybe talking about the supplement and the maybe cosmetic. How many cosmetic company exist in this in the world? Lot. How many supplement company?
Right.
Not only network marketing company. If you go to a supermarket, you can buy the lots of supplement, right?
Right.
And you have to compete with them, but you cannot find the LifeWave product in any supermarket. And that is the power of LifeWave. So if you keep doing it, try to make it simple. Try to make it simple so that everyone can duplicate. Okay, and that is the things I can, well, based on my experience, and I think I can say I do have some success. So if you want to really do LifeWave as like a source of income, if you want to do it as a part-time income or full-time income, your mentality should be the different. Okay, to make it a full-time income, maybe $5,000 per month. Okay, that is a full-time income, right? Part-time income maybe extra $500 per month. Well, then should be your mental status should be different. You cannot create the same result, when you are approaching them with a part-time mentality, you will receive the part-time income because what you are will create your result. Okay, you got to change yourself first if you want to make it big. And the LifeWave is only like a tools, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to really use it well, it's up to you. It's really up to you. And many people begin to talk about, I have so many downline people, so sometimes they begin to, complain about, oh, maybe LifeWave, like a compensation plan is not good, something like that, right? But I tell you, we do have the same product, same price product, same compensation plan. Some people are making big success. Some people are not making the success. What is the difference? It's you are makes a different result. So you got, if you want to really make it to change and make a big, you got to change yourself first. You have to have the very positive attitude. I cannot see any person making the big success when they have the negative thought. The compensation plan is no good. This product is no good. With that kind of attitude, you'll never be able to make a big success.
Right. Well,
do you want to have the very negative type downline under you, or you want to have the very negative upline above you? I think you want to have a very positive and a very aggressive type downline and also the upline, right? Then if you want to have that type of people under you, above you, then you have to become more than them. You have to be super positive. You don't have even time to be a negative in this business. And that is the way I always think about my daily life. As you know, I go to the hospital 3 times a week, and it's not so easy, but I still keep a very positive attitude. So
yeah.
If I can make it, I'm very sure you can make it.
I think we're very fortunate to have John Bishop that's the head of this
he's
group
good,
under
he's
you,
good.
because he does have a very positive attitude. And he's also very diligent in terms of trying to build a community.
Yeah.
I still feel like I'm in my rookie season. Like you think as professional sports, you spend all that time to kind of get to to the majors, right? And then you get into your rookie season, and it's kind of like, boy, it's almost like you're learning all over again. Certainly for me, I've had to change quite a few things in my life over the last couple of years. You know, my business went away, and lots of struggle in this time. But one thing I've learned from Eddie and Nancy, and now even talking with Don, is we all kind of want the same thing. We really want our health number one. And I feel very, it's hard to hear Eddie's story a little bit, because I know we've talked a lot about it, and it's no fun, to have to go in for any kind of thing. You go into the hospital. I don't like hospitals at all, but especially to go in, for dialysis and things like that. But Eddie's just always encouraged me. He's always said, John, you can do this. If I can do this, you can do this. And it's really given me a lot of hope. And I've gotten that from Nancy and my friend Don. So this has been great. This is something that I feel like every day I just try to, if I can just improve 1%, each day or each even week or even month, I feel like I'm going in the right direction, and that I'm going to bring a lot of success to this business, but also a lot of health to the people that I meet. So, and I know that that's kind of what we all want. So well, we're kind of coming up, I think, on the time. So next week, we got more.
Thank you.
More meetings to come to, and
Thank you all.
more things. So thanks a lot. Thanks, Don.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank
Thank
Dan.
you, John.
Okay.
Okay,
Have a
bye.
wonderful weekend.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.